absolutely awful season in the GPA. I did feel the need for a break for Draft League, and that's why I'm extremely happy to announce that that didn't last very long. It's the PPL, but it's not the PPL, but it's under the PPL, so we kind of take that. We're in 2 different divisions, and I'm in the Bold division together with all the other Europeans, so we can have our own party on the good side of the sea. And I'm just going to very, very quickly do a recap of it. We're not gonna analyze this. Honestly, most of you guys, you all know, you're all probably better at analyzing my team than I am. And if you're not, the comment section is there for a reason, so you can always ask questions, and me or other people will be answering those. First up, I did not have a plan. My plan for this league, my plan for this league is to not have a plan, because I did not have a plan. It was just like picking whatever seemed nice at the time. And for the first part, that is a Great Tusk, which, it's kind of cute. It's a little easier when you're not in a league where you have like the bidding war thing, because then you can just pick it and it's just like the points that it is, which mind you is kind of expensive, but it do be like that. I'm not gonna present it. It's there. It's a Great Tusk. It's gonna do great things. It's gonna make the Copenhagen Sawsbucks great again, I'm sure. Next up, a little bit of a rebound. Iron Bundle was there. Like, there were so many other things I could have used and that I could have picked and that could have made really cool teams, but Iron Bundle was there. Like, it had almost survived 2 rounds, and it's just like, nah, I had to. It's so bloody cute. Obviously, we can't Terra it, because this is only, like, low-tier Terra. Also, we had, like, a certain amount of points. I don't remember how many points. But you had to end up with, like, between 10 and 12 Pokemon, so keep that in mind, too. So not everyone has the same amount of Pokemon. Next up, one of the things I struggled with in GPA was kind of having a really bad... no, honestly, Magnezone wasn't bad. But, like, it's not a good defensive steel type, right? Because you have that ugly 4 times weakness, which you really don't want to have. So we picked up a Covenant, which means, first of all, we have 2 removers now. That's kind of cute. That is kind of cute. And it's also just very, very solid Pokemon overall. It's a Covenant. It does Covenant things. We love birds, obviously. For the next pick, we have kind of a ghastly... We have a ghastly speed gap between the bundle and the Tusk. And we kind of fixed it a little bit with the cute little Zarude, which can be kind of fast. I never use Zarude, and I barely ever face Zarude. So I'm very interested to use it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. It can do some shenanigans. At this point, our hazard setting. Can you not do that? Next up, I really don't want us to have to run hazards every week. And maybe Covenant does not always want to be the defogger. Maybe Tusk can't always be the rapid spinner that it so desirably wants to be. That's not how you say it, but anyway. We end up going with a cute little Galarian Weezing, which is not really good. He's definitely destroying the ozone layer. But nonetheless, we picked it. It gives us some Toxic Spikes. That's kind of cute. And it's just also kind of nicely bulky together with Covenant. So that's kind of cute. And at least they do complement each other's weaknesses just a tiny bit. Next up, we have Goodra. Just because now we have our Fairy Steel Dragon, and apparently they're all gonna be defensive. Goodra did get a little bit of a buff, got Toxic Back. That's kind of cute that it got Toxic Back. Actually, that's not very cute that it got Toxic Back, but it also got Knockoff now, so now you can't just swap things into it and expect to be fine. Which I do kind of like, and it's just so thick, and it kind of helps with the special bulk too. At this point, you can look at our first 2 Pokemon, the Bundle and the Tusk, and be like, that's a good ground type. That's very good offensively, and that's a very good offensive water type. We're gonna add the defensive one with the Gastrodon, who is kind of cute and who also got rocks now. And I even think it got spikes too, which is pretty clutch. So that's why Gastrodon is here. Also, just like being bulky, being immune to grass type moves. It's also kind of cute. I mean, not grass. Wow, not grass. Water type moves, because I mean we aren't actually that weak to water, but still the Tusk doesn't want to take it, and it could be nice. And like if you get a Storm Drain booster, but you kind of be looking a little bit scary. So I did mention that this league is low tier Terra. You had to have 2 or 3 captains, and there was like this list with Pokemon that could Terra, and they would cost a certain amount of points to have that as Terra captain, and you had a certain amount of points to spend on them. Anyway, long story short, I picked my first one, being Lycanroc Midday, because Dusk cannot Terra, and Dusk was pretty expensive. And you can see Terra types. It has to be a stab and then 2 other types. So Rock Fighting Fairy seems quite good on the Lycanroc. And then going into the next pick, it begins to get pretty fun here. We need we have Bundle, who's a good, strong special attack, but also otherwise we do not really have a good special attacker. So we kind of do remedy that together with getting a little bit of a Volt Switch action going on with a Thunderous Therian. I was a little slow at clicking that. I'm sorry. It gives a nice speed tier. Like, oh, mind you, it's pretty close to Zarude, but like, it's a nice speed tier. Honestly, like, I think we got the speed gap filled in pretty well, honestly, at this point. which I kind of dig, and it just, like, it gets some decent coverage. It's going to be great. I'm sure I also never use that thing, so that's also going to be interesting. And now's where the fun part comes. I did tell you, every Pokemon costs a certain amount of points, and you have a certain amount of points to spend. I did not keep track of my points, which is kind of embarrassing. The good thing is, I didn't actually use all my points on 9 Pokemon. The bad thing is, I had 1 point left. So first of all, we're only gonna have a team of 10 because whoopsies. And the next up is obviously that, you know, one point Pokemon. Those are like the worst of the worst. And at least I tried to pick the least worst of the worst, being a Mischievous. So at this point, at least we also it had to be one that could Terra. I think they all can, but still, like, it had to be able to Terra. I think Mischievous is the least worst of the worst, even though it's still pretty damn bad. And it's also a second Terra captain with Ghost Fairy and Fire, because, you know, originally, like, I was looking at getting things like Pyro, Delphox, like one of the Typhlosions, but ended up going with Lycanroc round instead. And then I kind of, you know, forgot that points was a thing that you had. So that is the squad. I think the first battle is already going to go out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And even if it's not, you should still stay tuned for the future. So with that,
bite my shiny metal ass.